Stories, Life Choices, where we explore the complex decisions that shape human lives. Today's story delves into a profound moral dilemma, a heartbreaking betrayal, and a choice no one ever wants to make. Before we dive into this challenging narrative, if you resonate with stories of real life choices and their consequences, please remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue bringing these powerful narratives to life. Now, let's begin. My world completely changed when I was only 7 years old. 7? That's how old I was when my parents got divorced. It felt like a quiet earthquake that split our family apart. The problems were there for a long time, but no one saw them. The real break happened when my mom found out the hard truth. My dad had been cheating on her for 5 long years. 5 years. And it wasn't just with anyone. It was with someone my mom thought was her friend. This betrayal hurt her twice as much and left a much deeper wound than just the cheating itself. It wasn't just a husband who broke his promises. It was a friend who had twisted the knife, making what mom thought was a safe place feel like a lie. The secret cheating didn't come out quietly. No, the truth exploded into our lives during what should have been a happy day, my birthday party. We were having it a bit late that year, a small thing I didn't even notice as a kid. Dad had made up a big story about an old friend dying. He said he had to go to a funeral, which seemed to explain why he wasn't there and why our party was late. But the truth had turned out was much worse, much more sneaky than a simple lie. He wasn't at a funeral. He was with the woman he was cheating with for an ultrasound. An ultrasound for their baby. My mom found out, and that's when everything fell apart. My happy childhood was suddenly ruined by the sad truth of adult betrayal. It's a memory I'll always link to balloons and cake. What made this hurt so much, so unforgivable, was the hidden meanness behind it. My mom later told me that the affair started right after she almost died. Not just almost died easily, but a very dangerous time during a pregnancy that went very wrong. We lost the baby, and she lost her chance to ever have more children after that. Just imagine lying in a hospital bed, sad about losing a child and a future, holding on to the husband and friend who should have been there for her. All that time, they were meeting behind her back, building a new life, a new family on top of her pain. It was a planned meanness that went beyond just cheating. It left a scar that words can't really describe. My mom, with her strong spirit, never truly got over what they did to her. How could she? It wasn't just one person who broke her trust. It was two. This double betrayal cut her very deeply. It made her really scared that if even her closest friends could be so mean, then real safety in relationships wasn't real. This deep feeling of being betrayed, this huge shattering of how she saw the world, left a lasting mark on her heart. It changed her, made her careful, and made her strong about protecting herself from more pain. Her hurts were too deep, too painful to just get over, like people often expect. My dad, in a shocking way, or maybe just not realizing what he was doing, eventually married the woman he cheated with. They had 6 children together, a whole new family built where our family used to be. My mom, even after many years, stayed away from them as much as she could. She made her rules clear. She chose her own peace over pretending everyone was happy in the family. A long time ago, she told me she loved me very much and she wanted me to be happy and loved. She never told me I had to stay away from my dad or my half-siblings for her. She wanted me to build my own life, find my own happiness. But she also said very clearly that she would never be able to play happy families with my dad, his new wife, and their kids. Some hurts, she explained, are just too deep, too big, and too painful to ever truly move on from. Her words became a quiet truth for me, always reminding me of the hidden hurts that kept shaping our lives.
Growing frustration led to a firm, steady tone. The big world problem kept changing lives. In many ways, it just made the differences between the two parts of my broken family more clear. Many people struggled, but my mom, who was always careful and managed things well, didn't have as many money problems during the pandemic. She was always the practical one, the planner, building a calm, strong life for us. Her stable life showed how strong she was. It was a clear difference from my father's life, which now felt shaky. Things, in short, stayed the same between them, a big gap of unspoken hurt and old anger. Now the new problems in the world just made it worse. My dad and his wife, both working in jobs that put them at risk, eventually found their work too much. The constant danger, the emotional stress, it all became too heavy. After a while, they decided to quit their jobs. This was a difficult choice, but it made sense for their health. However, it caused a huge problem with their money. It was clear my mom handled things calmly, but my father, who always seemed to choose what felt good right now, was now dealing with the real results of a life built on shaky ground. This change, strangely, took away his last weak reason to act like he was better than others. It showed how weak his situation really was. My high school graduation was coming up. I had worked hard for this. I always felt a bit ignored, but I had a quiet strength. Now a new problem came up. My dad, because he didn't have much money, couldn't pay for a graduation party for me. And honestly, that was fine. I didn't expect big fancy gifts from him. What was real, even if it was missing, was what I cared about. But what was truly shocking was what he expected next. He and his family, the very people whose lives were built on the ruins of my childhood, expected to be invited to the graduation party my mom was carefully planning. A party hosted by the woman he had treated so badly. A party to celebrate the child he had always ignored for his new, exciting life. The idea of them mixing with my mom's family and friends, celebrating my success at her house, felt like a big insult. The tension slowly got worse, then it exploded. My dad started complaining, openly, about them not being able to celebrate with me. He was whining, trying to put all the blame on my mom. He made her seem like the bad one, the stubborn person who stopped our family from being together. He said it was his right to celebrate my big day. His words were full of feeling sorry for himself and a surprising sense of knowing he deserved it. He was trying to trick me. He thought he could make me feel bad and force my mom to let him come. That was when I couldn't take it anymore. All the anger I had held inside for years finally burst out. "Dad," I told him, my voice sharper than I meant it to be, carrying all the unspoken truths from years past. "It's because of your affair, not Mom. This situation, this broken family, not being able to celebrate, it's all because of your choices." The truth, clear and harsh, hung in the air between us. I laid it all out. Every word was like putting a heavy stone on his past actions. You were the one who betrayed her again and again. You showed her no respect all the time through what you did and your lies. And then you expected her, the woman you hurt so deeply, to just act like nothing happened, so you could walk in and act like the good guy, the innocent victim in all of this. My words weren't mean. Not really. They came from years of being quiet and wanting him to admit the one real reason our family was hurting. He replied, sounding defensive and a bit like a dad who thought he was in charge, that it had been 10 years. "Your mom and I should be over it," he said, as if he forgot everything. "And you," he added, pointing a finger, "you should not have taken sides." The sheer nerve of him shocked me. "Taken sides?" I shot back. All the quiet anger, all the years of having to live in a world he made, finally came out. "You should have kept the affair from me then, instead of letting it come out for me to hear about during my own birthday party." The hurt was personal. It was a memory, from when I was very little. It wasn't about sides. It was about the simple truth of how our family was completely broken, and who was the only one who broke it.
Firm, but with a lingering sadness and a sense of an ending, my words hung in the air. They were sharp and clear. They cut through the thin, polite act my father had tried to keep up for years. His face, usually so calm and sure of himself, changed to a look of shock, then anger, then, for a second, something like pain. He tried to speak, but my voice, which used to be so quiet and agreeable around him, stayed strong. There was no more room for him to only remember what he wanted, no more space for his made-up story where he was the victim of an ex-wife who wouldn't forgive him. The truth, clear and hard, had been spoken. For the first time, he didn't seem to have a quick answer. The 10 years he said should have made everything okay just broke down under the weight of his clear past actions. That talk, even though it was quick and sharp, caused a clear change. The unspoken agreement, the fragile understanding that we just wouldn't talk about the past, was completely broken. I felt a strange mix of being very tired and a wild, exciting feeling of being free. Years of holding in anger, of not saying what I thought, of watching my mom deal with her quiet pain, finally burst out. It wasn't about taking sides, as he easily dismissed it. It was about seeing what was real. How could I not take sides when one parent was deeply hurt by the other, and that hurt directly changed my whole childhood and how my family worked? His cheating wasn't just an old story. It was the big event that caused all the problems in my life. The graduation party was at my mom's house. It was a happy time, but there was also a quiet tension. My dad and his family, as I expected, weren't there. Their absence quietly showed the rules I had made. It was a direct result of the truth I had spoken. My mom didn't say much about the talk, but she looked at me. A small nod, a quick look of thanks in her eyes that told me everything. We understood each other without words. It was a quiet way of saying that, for once, someone had stood up for the pain she had silently carried for so long. The party itself was good. It was full of my mom's family and friends, people who truly celebrated my achievements without the shadow of old betrayals hanging over them. But the quiet success of the party and the temporary feeling of being right didn't erase the deeper effects of the cheating. Even after all these years, my life and my mom's kept being shaped by that first act of cheating. It wasn't just a divorce. It was the breaking of a deep trust that went far beyond the marriage itself. It ruined the very idea of family, of being loyal, and of keeping promises. It taught me when I was very young that even the people closest to you can lie deeply. This lesson, learned the hard way, has stayed with me. It makes me careful in my own relationships, always worried about hidden problems under the surface. The cheating didn't just break my parents' marriage, it changed how I saw the world. It left a lasting mark on how I understand trust and promises. So, when I look back, the question of whether I was wrong for telling my dad the plain truth still stays with me. Not because I doubt myself, but because it's a complicated moral puzzle. Was it mean to remind him of his past on such a day when he was having his own problems? Maybe. But was it necessary? I think so. For too long, he had lived in a comfortable lie. He expected others to just get over what he did while he didn't really take responsibility for the pain he caused. My actions weren't about hurting him. They were about taking back the story, about saying the truth, that his choices, not my mother's actions, were the real reason our family was broken. It was a life choice I made, to speak my truth. I knew it would cause problems, but I hoped that, in the end, some real understanding for all of us might finally appear.
This story, like many deep human experiences, makes us think hard about duty, forgiveness, and taking care of ourselves. On one hand, the usual marriage promises, for better or worse, in sickness and in health, are about always supporting someone. Jane is facing a serious health problem, which naturally makes us feel kind and sad for her. The idea of leaving a husband or wife at such a time feels wrong to many people. But the main character's hard choice is just as important. When trust is completely broken by cheating, when you're emotionally empty from being hurt again and again, can you truly give comfort without hurting yourself even more? From a moral point of view, this situation shows a clash between different ways of thinking about right and wrong. Does the main character have to follow a rule where they do what's best for Jane's comfort, even if it hurts them emotionally? Or is this a case where certain rules, like keeping your personal boundaries safe and having the right to heal from deep betrayal, are more important, no matter how it makes others feel right now? The Reddit community, when they said NTA, not the asshole, mostly agreed with the second idea. They said the main character had the right to protect their mind and feelings after such a big break of trust. They understood that real support can't be forced or given when someone is already emotionally broken. From a mind's point of view, the main character's journey shows the deep and lasting hurt of cheating. It's not just one bad thing that happened, it's a wound that keeps hurting. It affects how close you are, how much you trust, and how you feel about yourself. Their inability to give emotional support isn't about wanting to punish someone, it's a sign of their own pain that hasn't gone away. The heavy feeling of guilt they have is real, but it fights with the clear truth that they are emotionally empty. This shows how complicated it is to be kind to someone else while also needing to heal and protect yourself. The story forces us to face the hard truth that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself, and maybe even for the other person in the long run, is to step away. When this story was put on Reddit's r/am I the asshole page, it created a huge amount of talk. It got over 32,000 upvotes and more than 7,400 comments. The community's decision was ESH, or Everyone Sucks Here. This means users felt that everyone in the story had some fault, not just Connor. Many users agreed that what Connor did was a huge betrayal, especially after his sister supported him so much. They felt he was wrong to expose her past in such a cruel way, knowing how sensitive Hunter was about cheating. Some said his apology wasn't enough to fix such a deep wound. However, the ESH verdict also pointed to the sister's actions. Some users argued that kicking out Connor, especially given his past struggles with being disowned by their parents, was too harsh. They felt she should have found another way to deal with his mistake, maybe a temporary break or a different kind of punishment, instead of forcing him out. They saw it as her repeating the pattern of abandonment, even if the reasons were different. Others questioned why she hadn't told Hunter about her past cheating directly, earlier in their relationship, given his strong feelings about it. This part of the verdict highlighted that while Connor was deeply wrong, the sister's response also had serious consequences, making the dilemma even more complicated. This story is a strong reminder that life gives us tough problems, even sad health issues, but personal choices, especially those that completely break trust, have deep and lasting results. The main character's journey shows the hard balance between being kind and protecting yourself. It shows how hard it is to heal after being cheated on. Their choice, supported by many people online, shows that a promise, once broken, can change love and duty forever. What do you think? Was the main character right to make their decision, or should they have put their wife's immediate needs first, even over their own pain? We want to hear your honest thoughts about this incredibly hard life choice. Share what you think and why in the comments below. If this story made you think and you like exploring real-life problems and their complex results, please give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Stories Life Choices and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into what it means to be human. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to reading what you say.